Have you ever wondered how we transitioned from rural agrarian societies to the bustling, tech-driven world we live in today? The answer to this lies in a transformative period known as the Industrial Revolution. This was not just a change, but a drastic metamorphosis that forever altered the course of human history. In the 18th and 19th centuries, societies primarily revolved around agriculture, with families living off the land and crafting goods by hand. The dawn of the Industrial Revolution, however, marked a significant shift from these agrarian societies to industrialized economies. The world began to spin on an axis of factories and machinery, a stark contrast to the pastoral life that had defined centuries prior. This shift was fueled by a variety of factors. One of the most significant was the rise of capitalism. The concept of private ownership and the pursuit of profit became the cornerstone of the new industrialized society. The Industrial Revolution didn't just transform economies, it reshaped societies. As the hum of factories replaced the rustle of fields, society found itself in a state of flux. The age-old structures that had held sway for centuries were gradually eroded by the relentless march of industry. In this new world, the rural, agrarian lifestyle was replaced by the hustle and bustle of urban living. The traditional artisan, once a master of his craft, found his skills becoming less relevant in an economy increasingly dominated by machines. The once thriving guilds of craftspeople saw their influence wane as factories took over, churning out goods on a scale previously unimaginable. But with this industrial metamorphosis came a new social order. The middle class emerged, a group of businessmen, merchants, and professionals who found prosperity in the new industrial economy. This wasn't just a shift in wealth, it was a shift in power. The middle class, with its newfound economic clout, began to influence politics, culture, and society in ways that would have been unthinkable in the pre-industrial era. Yet not everyone was a winner in this new order. For many workers, the dawn of the industrial age brought hardship and suffering. Long hours in unsafe factories became the norm. The grueling work was not limited to adults. Children as young as 6 found themselves toiling in factories and mines. The cries of these child laborers echoed through the factories, a grim reminder of the human cost of progress. Even as some basked in the glow of prosperity, others languished in the shadows of exploitation. The gap between the haves and the have-nots widened, creating a chasm that society is still grappling with today. But through these hardships and injustices, the spirit of the people endured. Workers began to organize, demanding better conditions and fair wages. This marked the birth of the labor movement, a struggle for rights and dignity that continues to this day. As the wheels of industry turned, so did the wheels of society, often with stark consequences. The Industrial Revolution was a time of great change where the old was swept away by the new and society was forever altered. It was a time of progress and pain, of innovation and exploitation, a time when society was truly in flux. The Industrial Revolution was powered not just by coal and steam, but by mind-boggling technological innovation. Like the beating heart of this new age, these inventions pumped life into factories, towns, and entire cities, revolutionizing the way we live and work. Let's start with the steam engine, an invention that can be likened to a giant inhaling and exhaling. It's breath-powering machines, factories, and transportation. Its creation by James Watt in the late 18th century was a turning point, marking the shift from muscle to machine, from horse to horsepower. The steam engine was the cornerstone, the very heart of the Industrial Revolution, pumping energy into the world like never before. Next, we move on to the textile industry, a sector that was completely transformed by innovations like the spinning jenny and the power loom. The spinning jenny, introduced by James Hargreaves in the mid-18th century, was a machine that could spin multiple threads at once, greatly increasing the speed of production. It was as if one worker suddenly had 8 hands, all working in perfect unison. The power loom, on the other hand, was a steam-powered, mechanically operated version of a regular loom. It was an invention that could weave threads into cloth at a pace that no pair of human hands could match. This machine, developed by Edmund Cartwright at the dawn of the 19th century, was a game-changer. It took the textile industry by storm, making it possible to produce cloth on a scale that was previously unimaginable. These inventions, and many others like them, were the catalysts that sparked a seismic shift in productivity. They were the tools that enabled mass production, making goods cheaper and more accessible. They were the blueprints for the factories of the future, the templates for modern production lines. But perhaps most importantly, these technological innovations were the pistons in the engine of the Industrial Revolution. They were the driving force that propelled us from a world of small-scale, artisanal production into an era of industrialized, mechanized mass production. These innovations were the pistons in the engine of the Industrial Revolution, driving us towards the modern era. Cities bloomed like mushrooms in the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. With the advent of new technologies and the shift from agrarian to industrial economies, urban areas began to swell and sprawl, growing at an unprecedented rate. Imagine, if you will, a world where the concept of a city was being redefined. The once small settlements, with their quaint markets and close-knit communities, were rapidly transforming into bustling metropolises. This urban explosion was driven by the promise of job opportunities in the newly established factories, luring people from rural areas with the allure of a better life. But this rapid growth was not without its challenges. Cities struggled to accommodate the influx of people, leading to overcrowding and unsanitary living conditions. The air became thick with smog from factory smokestacks, and streets were often littered with waste. Yet in the midst of this chaos, there was a sense of excitement, a palpable energy that hummed through the city streets. The growth of cities also led to the development of expansive transportation networks. Canals, railways, and roads began to crisscross the landscape, connecting cities and towns like never before. This increased connectivity played a crucial role in the spread of goods, ideas, and people, further fueling the growth of cities. The impact of urbanization extended beyond just physical changes. It brought about shifts in societal structures, public health, and living conditions. The hustle and bustle of city life gave rise to new social dynamics and cultural norms. Public health initiatives were launched in response to the unsanitary conditions, leading to improvements in sanitation and healthcare. Urbanization also led to the emergence of new socioeconomic classes. The wealthy industrialists, or the bourgeoisie, lived in grand houses, while the working class, the proletariat, often lived in crowded, squalid conditions. This stark contrast between the rich and poor became a defining feature of city life during the Industrial Revolution. With the rise of cities came a myriad of challenges and opportunities, a testament to the transformative power of the Industrial Revolution. The cities of the Industrial Revolution were crucibles of change, shaping the world as we know it today. A testament to human innovation, resilience, and adaptability, they stand as a lasting legacy of this pivotal period in history. The ripples of the Industrial Revolution were not confined to Europe, they spread across the globe. As the 19th century unfolded, the winds of industrialization crossed the Atlantic, reaching the shores of North America. The vast lands of the United States, rich in natural resources, became a fertile ground for the seeds of industry. Factories sprouted up, cities grew, and the American dream was born. Simultaneously, the flame of industrial progress also began to kindle in the East. Japan, under the Meiji Restoration, embraced modernization with an open heart, transforming from a feudal society into an industrial powerhouse. This marked the beginning of Asia's involvement in the global industrial narrative. However, the spread of the Industrial Revolution wasn't always a story of mutual benefit. The darker side of this global phenomenon was the shadow of colonialism and imperialism. European powers, fueled by their industrial might, expanded their empires, exploiting resources and labor in Asia, Africa, and the Americas. The legacy of this era can still be seen today. The divide between industrially advanced nations and those still developing, the extraction of resources, the displacement of indigenous people, all these are reminders of the costs that came with the benefits of the Industrial Revolution. Like a stone thrown into a pond, the impact of the Industrial Revolution spread far and wide, forever altering the course of human history. The echoes of the Industrial Revolution reverberate to this day. The transformation from agrarian societies to industrial powerhouses, the rise of a new middle class, the advent of groundbreaking technology, and the urbanization that changed our cities forever. These are the indelible imprints of this era. From Europe to Asia and beyond, the gears of the Industrial Revolution set the stage for our modern world. So next time you marvel at our modern world, remember, it all began with the turning gears of the Industrial Revolution.